Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'll be previewing some NFL games, giving you gamble picks, straight up picks, stuff like that. And I'll concentrate on 6 games, but I'm going to pick the whole schedule. For those 6 games, I'm going to give you a detailed look in, picks, and gambling picks for those games as well. And we'll start out with the first game of the year, the Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears. Tonight, 8:30, NBC. You guys should watch this game. I think it's going to be a good football game. The Bears are actually favoring this game by 3 points, and the over-under is 46.5. I have the Bears winning this game 26-17, so covering that spread of 3 points. So you should take the Bears and the 3 points, and that would miss the over. So I would take the under in this game just by a little bit. I personally probably wouldn't touch the over/under, but if I had to pick, I would go under 26-17. And the reason why, I just feel like Green Bay Packers are going up against what's going to be a top 5 defense this year, because you still have Khalil Mack, you still have Akeem Hicks, you still have Roquan Smith, you still have Danny Trevathan, etc., etc. You still have a very good defense on that side of the ball. They're going to turn you over, they're going to sack you, and that's even without Vic Fangio, who's a very good defensive coordinator. They do bring in Chuck Pagano, though, who I think is a good defensive coordinator as well. Not as good. I think Vic Fangio is an elite defensive mind. I think Chuck Pagano is just a good defensive mind, but good enough with that talent. I think they get the job done 26-17, and I would take the Bears, I would take the Bears -3 here. That's the play for me. And the over/under, like I said, if you made me pick, I would take the under at 46.5 with the 26-17 score, but not by much. I wouldn't pick that personally, but that's for you guys to decide. Next up, we have the LA Rams versus the Carolina Panthers, a West Coast team traveling to the East Coast, and probably rainy conditions with the hurricane coming through. So even worse for the Rams, who are not used to rain. This is a crazy stat. This is baseball, but the Dodgers haven't had a rain out in 17 years. These Rams guys don't see rain very often. So I actually have the Panthers winning this game straight up 27-23, and you're getting 2 points here with the Panthers. So even if they lose the game by 1 point, you still win the bet. So I would take the Panthers +2. And the over-under here is 50. I have it 27-23, so exactly 50. I would not touch the over-under on this game. I think it's going to be very close to that number. Either way, I just wouldn't touch it. But I would 100% take the Panthers +2, and I have them winning straight up 27-23. Next, the Indianapolis Colts versus the LA Chargers in LA. The Indianapolis Colts are getting 6.5 points here. The over-under is 45. I think the Chargers are going to win this game. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game just for the fact that the Chargers still have a decent defense even with Derwin James out. And the Colts are breaking in. I mean, the offense is going to have to be a little bit different from Andrew Luck to Jacoby Brissett. I don't think Jacoby Brissett can make some of the throws that Andrew Luck could. Maybe last year he could because of the shoulder issue, so maybe that's not true. But you also want to add some running possibilities. I know when he's on the Patriots they did that. Hopefully Frank Reich, and I think he will because I think he's a decent coach, will add some run pass options with Jacoby Brissett, a little bit of college flair in it, because I think he can run the football. I have the Chargers winning this game in a close game, 21-17. So I would take the Colts +6.5, but I do think the Chargers come out with the win. And the over/under here is 45. I would pound that under. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game just for the fact that offensive line is beat up for the Chargers, and the Colts have good defense. The defense is still good, even though they don't have Derwin James for the Chargers, and they're going up against Jacoby Brissett, starting his first real game where a defense is going to be game planning for him specifically, pretty much. I know he started a couple games when he's been there, and a couple games with the Patriots, but there wasn't much film on him. They have 6 to 8 game films on him, so I would expect him to struggle a little bit. That's why I have this score being so low. 21-17 LA Chargers. Take the +6.5, though, for Indianapolis. I think they keep this within a touchdown, which pretty much is the line here. Then we go to one of the oldest and best rivalries in all of football. I don't think it's going to be much of a rivalry this year, but the Giants are going into Jerry World for Dallas. Thank you. This is not a night game on NBC. I'm done with that. They've had it. I think the last 3 or 4 years they've opened up with the Giants versus Dallas. I'm tired of it. I'm glad it's not. It's going to be a Fox game. It's going to be their late game. I have the Dallas Cowboys winning this pretty easily at 31-13, and I just think they're a better football team. I don't really know what else to say. Eli Manning's still the starting quarterback. Their defense has a lot of holes on it. Their offense line will be improved, but overall, just too many holes to plug. And Dallas is one of those teams on the short list of Super Bowl contenders. So I expect them to win this game 31-13. And the Giants are getting 7.5. That's not enough. I'm still taking Dallas minus 7.5. And the over-under for this game is 45.5. And I have it a little bit under at 44. I wouldn't touch this. The only game I even feel comfortable with touching right now for the over-under would be Indianapolis and the Chargers, which was 45 points. So I would not touch the over-under for this game at 45.5, with my prediction being 31-13 Dallas, but I would take Dallas minus 7.5. I think they win this game by at least 10 points, so I would definitely take Dallas 7.5, minus 7.5. Next up, we have Denver versus Oakland, which was originally pick'em earlier today. If you would have woke up in the morning, this would have been a pick'em game. Not anymore, with Antonio Brown probably being suspended after acting like a complete clown and a buffoon today in practice. Denver's actually a 2-point favorite on the road here in Oakland. And the over-under for this is 43.5. That's a really hard over-under for this game. I think this game is going to be right around there. I could see this game being anywhere from 40 to 45 points. I don't see it going over 45 to 46 points, though. So this is a perfectly placed under. I mean, that's over-under. This is why tall buildings are in Vegas. Obviously, they know where to put the lines. That's a perfect over-under to me. I would take Denver in this game, but barely. I probably wouldn't touch this game just for the fact that I think Oakland's defense is going to be decent, but I don't expect their offense to be very good. And same with Denver. I don't know about the offense. I know about the defense. So I have Denver winning this game 23-20 on the road. So that would mean take Denver minus 2. I have Denver winning 23-20, so I guess I would take Denver minus 2, but I just wouldn't touch this, to be honest with you. I wouldn't touch the over-under either at 43.5, but if you made me, I would take the under. Just because, for the simple fact, I don't expect much out of both offenses, and both defenses, especially Broncos, are very good. I think Oakland's going to be okay on the defensive side of the football. So if you forced a gun to my head, I would take the under, and I would also take the under, and I would also take Denver minus 2 at this point. Next up, we have Houston at New Orleans. Houston's getting 7 points in this game. The over-under is 52.5. I think it's going to go over. I think this is going to be a pretty high-scoring game. I don't think both defense, especially the Saints always start out slow on defense. And actually, over the past 2 years, they've gone 23-9 combined in the regular season, but they've gone 6-3 in their first 8 games. So they start out the first 4 games of the season slow. They have actually lost a third of their games in the first 4 seasons, or the last 2 seasons, the first 4 games. So I expect them to start out slow again. And it's usually their defense that starts out slow. And Houston lost to Davion Clowney, and I don't know about the back end of the defense still. They have to prove it to me. The only known commodity is J.J. Watt. So I'm going to take Houston just for the fact that I think New Orleans starts off slow. So I'm taking Houston plus the 7. And I actually think Houston's winning this game. I really do. I think they're going to win. I know it sounds crazy. All on the road in New Orleans, starting out the season on a Monday night versus the Saints. I know the whole thing sounds crazy. I'm taking the Saints, Houston win this game 30-27. I'm taking Houston plus 7, and I'm hitting the over here. The most confident, if I had to lock it in for all of these, the most confident game is Chicago for me. I think Chicago's going to win by more than 3. They're minus 3. I think they're winning by more than 3. I would take that. Then the over-under for me, I would probably take the under of the Indianapolis Chargers game would be the over-under I would lock in. So Bears minus 3 would be my lock. An over-under game for a lock would be Indianapolis Chargers under 45. I just think that's a lock. Next, we'll run down the schedule pretty quickly and just give you what I think is going to happen. We have Tennessee at Cleveland. I think Cleveland's winning that game. Baltimore at Miami. This game wasn't very hard to pick. Baltimore is going to kill Miami. Atlanta at Minnesota. This might be a surprise. I'm taking Atlanta. Buffalo at the Jets. I'm taking the Jets. I think this is a toss-up game, though. This is the hardest game to pick for me other than one we have coming up next. I think Kansas City and Jacksonville, a complete toss-up. It's starting out. I think Jacksonville's defense is going to be a top 5 unit. It's going to be up to Nick Foles. If Nick Foles can be like he was in Philadelphia, they can win this game, especially at home, but I'm taking Kansas City. Washington at Philly. I'm taking Philly. I don't know who the quarterback is going to be at Washington. They don't really have one there yet. It could be Colt McCoy. It could be Case Keenum. Could be Dwayne Haskins. They have Case Keenum. I don't expect them to play half the games this year. I bet if I had to divvy it up, I would say Case Keenum plays 6 games. Dwayne Haskins plays 8 games. Colt McCoy plays 2 games. Next, Cincy at Seattle. Another easy game to pick. I'm taking Seattle. Detroit at Arizona. Kind of a toss-up here, but I'm going Detroit. And then San Francisco at Tampa Bay. I'm taking Tampa Bay there at home. If this was in San Francisco, I would take that. It's another West Coast trip to the East Coast, so I'm taking Tampa Bay. And I actually almost forgot one. The Sunday night game, probably one of the most fun games to watch on the weekend, regardless of who it is, because you got great commentators in Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth. Pittsburgh at New England, another banner ceremony. Pittsburgh actually since 1980 has been to more banner ceremonies at New England than they have in their own stadium. I'm going to take an upset here. I'm taking the Steelers. I'm high on the Steelers this year. I think they got rid of the drama and the controversy in the locker room, getting rid of Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, who are just prima donnas in that locker room. So I'm taking Pittsburgh in an upset. That will do it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Thank you.